After getting Nebula for every single gun in Black Ops 6 Zombies, I can safely say that it is 100% absolutely worth it to get Nebula if you really like playing zombies. Now, don't just click off this video yet, even though I just told you yes. In this video, I'm going to explain the reasons why it's worth it to get Nebula, and some tips that will help the grind go a little bit faster. We'll be going over the pros and cons of getting Nebula Camo, and why certain guns can be a little bit harder to get Nebula Camo than others. But wait, before we get started, 98.4% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure to subscribe. Alright, let's get started. Now, just like any Mastery Camo in any Call of Duty, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of grinding to get. In order to get Nebula, you have to get Afterlife with 33 weapons. A nice tip is that it doesn't have to be the 33 base weapons. For example, say you really hate the 2 launchers within the game, you do not have to get those 2 launchers Afterlife in order to unlock the access of getting Nebula in the first place. Instead, you can work on the DLC weapons, and that will count towards your 0 out of 33 weapons needed in order to unlock a Nebula in the first place for all guns. Obviously, if you want Nebula for every single gun, you're going to have to get Afterlife with every single gun. Also, another thing I want to point out is that for the Dark Ops calling card you get after completing Nebula on 33 weapons, it again does not have to be the base 33 weapons that came out when the game launched. It is just 33 weapons in total, including the DLC weapons. So again, talking from the launcher's perspective, you can get the Dark Ops for completing Nebula with 33 weapons without getting a single kill on any of the launchers. The reason why I'm using the launcher's perspective in terms of getting Nebula and like having to skip weapons is because there's only 2 in that category as of today when I upload this video. But say for instance, if you don't want to do the GS45s because when you pack a punch it becomes explosives, or if you don't want to do the LR762 which also turns into explosive, all it states in the Opal Camo is to get Mystic Gold for 4 pistols and Mystic Gold for 3 sniper rifles. So I'm recording this video on December 27th, 2024, and the newest DLC weapon is the AMR Mod 4, which is a sniper rifle. So if you're just starting the Nebula grind, in terms of the sniper rifle category, you do not have to even touch the LR762 because all it specifies in the Opal Camo challenges for the sniper rifles is to get Mystic Gold on 3 sniper rifles. So you can get Mystic Gold on the first sniper rifle, the second sniper rifle, and then the newest sniper rifle, which is a DLC weapon. It does not turn into explosive when you pack punch it. The reason why I'm saying this is because there's a lot of ways to manipulate the system and not have to do guns that are worse than others in terms of getting those 2,000 critical kills. Speaking of critical kills, we'll get into our next part. Getting 2,000 critical kills, which means 2,000 headshots within a single gun to unlock the special camos. For launchers and for knives, it's actually rather easier because all you have to do is get 2,000 kills to unlock Purple Tiger instead of 2,000 critical kills because it's obviously impossible to do that. But in terms of getting 2,000 critical kills for bullet weapons, it's honestly not that hard. And that's thanks to Deadshot Daiquiri, which makes getting headshots really easy in zombies. Obviously, some weapons are going to be worse than others and some weapons are going to be better than others. But getting 2,000 critical kills may seem daunting, but it's really not at all, since you can do all the Nebula Camo challenges within directed mode of zombies. Directed mode is basically just an easier version of the standard mode of zombies, and it is capped at round 15, so you can't go any further than that. And this makes the grind really easy to do, but it's still going to be really long. So I would have to get to 2,000 critical kills and the whole challenges. I would have to give it a W because it is really not that hard at all, and all you have to do is just play simply the game and get headshots. Now onto the special camos. Special camos are a little bit tedious, but honestly it's not that hard either. Most of the challenges are rather easy and take about like literally 5 minutes to complete if you're in the right situation. And then Mystic Gold is also probably the easiest camo to get in the entire game. All you have to do is just train up a horde and kill a bunch of zombies, and by a bunch I mean 10. I think around 15 times, and you'll get Mystic Gold. And you can do that very easily if your gun is fully pack-a-punched, legendary rating, and it's if you're in a directed mode, it's also going to be easier since it's round capped at round 15 and all the zombies are literally low health. So I'm going to give these special camos and Mystic Gold both W's because honestly it's not that hard. Yes, the special camo challenges may have a little bit tedious challenges, but it's not that hard and can be completed within like 15 to 20 minutes. Now on to probably the most controversial part of getting Nebula, and in my opinion the most grindiest part of getting Nebula, it's getting Opal Camo. Now in order to be able to unlock Opal Camo in the first place, you have to unlock Mystic Gold for however many base weapons are in that category. For instance, there's 3 melee weapons, but you have to unlock Mystic Gold for 2, since the baseball bat and the melee knife are actually like base weapons. For the shotguns as well, you only have to unlock Mystic Gold on 2 of them because there's only 2 base shotguns within the game. And right after you unlock Mystic Gold for all these weapons, you have to get 30 special eliminations with that specific gun. Special zombies are manglers or doppelgas, and frankly, in my opinion, I believe that 30 special eliminations with one specific gun is way too much. In order to unlock Afterlife, you have to get opal camo on 33 weapons and the 30 special eliminations each, which means you have to kill 990 special zombies in order to unlock Afterlife. Now, I started grinding for opal camo when the game first came out, so there was no directed mode, and I would always have to get to past round 30 in order to get this 30 special eliminations on Liberty Falls. And I believe I was like 23 out of 33 weapons completed before directed mode came out, which made grinding for special eliminations really easy. They also nerfed how many special zombies spawn past round 30. If you're playing zombies right when the game came out and you got past round 31, oh my gosh, there was more manglers than there were zombies. And it made the grind a little bit easier because all you have to do is just get past round 30 and then you'll get opal camo. But now with directed mode coming out, I have to say that it's obviously very easy to get opal camo for every gun. Another tip here, if you play directed mode Liberty Falls and get to round 11, you're going to want to save and quit. And then when you load back up into the game, if you get a vermin round, you're going to want to complete that vermin round and save and quit again. You're going to want to repeat this process until when you save and quit and load back up again, instead of having a vermin round, it should be a regular round and a mangler will spawn. If you successfully do that, that means a mangler will spawn every single round if you keep it capped at round 11. So now if your gun is fully pack-a-punch and has a legendary rating and you did the save and quit thing to have a mangler spawn every round that has a mangler should probably take you a minute to complete if you try to end the round as fast as possible. But say for the majority of players playing in directed mode, every single round probably takes them a minute and a half to complete. That means getting opal camo for 33 weapons using this strategy takes you around to 1,485 minutes or 24 hours and 45 minutes of just pure game time to get opal camo for 33 weapons. And that's not even including like going for the mystery box and like trying to get the gun in like same game of directed mode, or going into a new game of directed mode with a different weapon because it's taking forever to get it in the box and you'd rather just restart the entire thing as a whole. So 24 hours and 45 minutes is optimally how to get opal camo, or like the fastest way to get opal camo. But for most players, it's going to take way longer than that. This is my main critique of Nebula Camo and like the whole process of it is there's way too many special eliminations you have to get in order to be able to unlock the access of getting Afterlife and Nebula past that. Which goes on to my next point, the unnecessary linearness of unlocking Nebula Camo, which means that everything is locked until you unlock a certain camo. When you're getting your 2,000 critical kills, you can only get those 2,000 critical kills. You can't work on the opal camo, you can't work on Afterlife, you can't work on your mystic gold, hell, you can't even work on your special camos. You have to unlock everything one at a time, and that can get really frustrating, especially since you know what the challenge is before you even start. Like, you know, like if you go into a gun you've never used before and you go into the camos, you know what the special camo challenges are, but yet you can't do them. I don't understand why like the further camos have to be locked, and in my opinion, I feel like it's a waste of time. I know other people's opinions may be like, well, it has to be locked in order to like get the Dark Ops like challenge or whatever, but in my personal opinion, and I know this might be a hot take, but I believe that if you want to get Nebula on one single gun and one single gun only, you should be able to do that. I don't think there has to be a restriction to unlock opal camo for 33 weapons or Afterlife for 33 weapons in order to be able to unlock Afterlife or Nebula, because it just honestly adds more and more grinding, and not a lot of people have time for that. But I do see like the purpose of like using all the guns in order to get Nebula. So like I don't like the linearity, but I do understand why Treyarch put it in the game. And most like mastery camos work like that in every COD. So I don't know, that's just my opinion. But I'll have to give opal camo in terms of like how to get it. Like I would have to give it an L, I'm gonna be honest. I think if they decreased the number by like 20 or 15, it'd be way better. In terms of Afterlife is probably the second easiest camo to get in the game besides Mystic Gold. And all you do is get 20 kills 10 times without getting hit, because all the zombies, if you have your gun fully pack punch, fully upgraded, which you will, every single zombie will probably be one shot in the head. Oh, I had nothing to say but a W for Afterlife. Afterlife is really easy to get. And on to Nebula. I believe Nebula is also easy to get because of something you can do in directed mode with a certain Easter egg step on Liberty Falls, which is basically repeating the step of getting an elite kill every single round doing this Easter egg step, and it's really easy to do, and you'll get the 10 elite eliminations in probably around like 7 minutes per gun. So honestly, in terms of all the grinding for Nebula, I would have to give the 2,000 critical kills a W. I would have to give give the special camos a W. I would have to give everything a W besides the opal camo. I feel like the opal camo, the 30 special eliminations, I believe it's just a bit too much grinding. And you might say that like also the 2000 critical kills is a lot. And don't get me wrong, it is. But the reason why it doesn't feel that much is because in order to get the most points in a single zombie, it's no more knifing, you have to get headshots. So no matter how you play zombies, in order to get the most amount of points, you need to get headshots. And that's why the 2000 critical kills does not feel as long as a 30 special eliminations, is because it incentivizes you to play like that, to get the 2000 critical kills. Whenever you play zombies, you are going for the head, no matter how you play. So in my opinion, that's the reason why it doesn't feel as long as getting the 30 special eliminations. But I do understand why that could be a lot for people, but personally, it doesn't feel a lot for me. In terms of looks, do I believe that Nebula is the best looking camo in the game? To be honest, it might be a little bit biased because I haven't gotten the necessary camos for multiplayer or Warzone, but I believe Nebula is really good looking, especially on Warzone where that lighting is a bit different than zombies. In terms of looks, I believe it's absolutely 100% worth it to get Nebula. It looks clean, it's animated, and I will say this, it is 100% the easiest grind to do in Black Ops 6. And the reason why is because you can do it solo. You don't need to go into multiplayer lobbies or do anything multiplayer wise. You can literally just go into directed mode and just kill zombies and manglers and get the Nebula or get the elite kills. That's literally all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to deal with cheaters. You don't have to deal with sweats. You don't gotta deal with skill-based matchmaking. You don't gotta deal with any of that when you're playing zombies. Now, I will say this. Because it's the easiest grind, and because you can be directed mode literally 99% of the time when you're going for the Nebula grind, it can get real boring. Like extremely boring because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. The pros about going for multiplayer and Warzone camos is that every single game you play, it's going to be different than the last one you played. For zombies, it literally is going to be the same every time you play. However, there's some ways that you can flip this around or play however you like. You don't have to follow the directed mode. You can play standard and try to go for the highest round you can with one specific gun while only doing headshots. You can try to do the elite eliminations in a standard mode and try to get 10 in one game. It'll be really hard, but you can do it and it can excite you. If you're grinding directed mode like the entire time you're trying to get Nebula, like it's gonna be so mundane. It's literally like a 9 to 5. It's literally like a 9 to 5. You're just sitting there doing nothing. You literally just aim, shoot, aim, shoot, aim, shoot. That's literally it. You're not doing anything. And I can see why for a lot of people I can be like, oh, this is boring. I'd rather do multiplayer in Warzone instead, because yes, it's harder, but the reason why it's harder is because it's a multiplayer gun and it honestly feels more rewarding for some people. The best way to grind Nebula Camo, honestly, is to just go on directed mode, do the whole strategy of getting to round 11 where it's capped at round 11, doing the mangler thing, and honestly just like putting something on like another monitor or on your phone and just watch something or listen to something like a podcast so you don't go insane, because it's literally a cookie cutter blueprint for getting Nebula. You literally just do the exact same thing every single time. Zombies will just spawn and you just shoot them in the head. So all in all, while the grind is easy, it is very long, just like every other mastery camo. But not only is it long, it's boring. For multiplayer camos, you're gonna get tilted, you're gonna get mad. But in zombies, you're trying your hardest not to go insane because the process doesn't change at all. It is very easy to get burnt out doing this camo challenge. But even though I kind of just bashed the camo, I still believe you should 100% do it because it gives good replayability to zombies. Like, you're not just playing zombies just play zombies, you're actually grinding for something bigger. And it's also very less frustrating to get Nebula rather than the other camos in Black Ops 6. If you don't burn out, if you don't crash out on getting this camo, and you just have something in the background like music or a podcast, something else to stimulate your brain while going for this camo, because it's not as frustrating and it's rather easy, trust me, you'll be fine. You'll be completely fine going for this camo. And also, like I mentioned before, there's other ways you can play zombies rather than directed mode. Directed mode is just the easiest and honestly I think the fastest way as well to get Nebula. But you don't have to do directed mode Liberty Falls the entire time. You can play Citadel Daymore, you can play Terminus, both standard modes. Like, you don't have to do directed mode either for them. And you play zombies the classic way instead of doing the directed mode, and you won't feel like you're wasting your time because you're still working for these camos and still playing the way you want to play. There's no set rule on how to get like these camos. Simply all you have to do is just get the camos and just get critical kills, just get special elimination kills, elite elimination kills. There's no specified way to get these camos. I was just showing you like directed mode is the best way to get them, but if you want to just do a standard mode version, you could. And that's honestly one of the main reasons why I believe you should get this camo instead of the other multiplayer ones, is because in multiplayer, like, you have to play a specific way in order to get these camos. You always have to get headshots or critical kills in zombies, but like I said before, incentivizes you to do that. In multiplayer, literally, if you 100 headshots or something like that, you literally have no control over that. You just have to get 100 headshots. You always have to go for the head. You can't just kill them. And yes, you can do it in the regular core modes, but no one does that. No one sane does that because it's stupid. Everyone plays hardcore because it's by far not only the fastest and easiest way, it's probably the only way to get 100 headshots without fucking breaking your neck. For getting Nebula, however, you can do it any way you want, and that's the perfection of this camo. Yes, it's long. Yes, there's things I don't like about the specific camo grind, but all in all, you can do this any way you want. It gives you the freedom to do that, and it doesn't look shit. Like, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good as a skin itself. So, do I think you should get Nebula Camo? I said beginning the video, I think you should. I believe my answer is yes, and I still agree with my answer in the beginning. I think you should get Nebula Camo, and I believe it's 100% worth it if you want to grind for a mastery camo in Black Ops 6, and you want to feel rewarded with something you did without all the frustration that comes with multiplayer. Like, all you literally have to do is just go on directed mode or play however you want. You don't even have to go on directed mode, like I said before. You can just play however you want and just relax and have fun, because there's no multiplayer cheats, skill-based matchmaking, or it's just sweaty players or annoying players. There's nothing like that in zombies. It's however you want it to be. If you want to play directed mode, yes, it's going to be mind-numbingly boring, but you can just put something in the background and it won't be boring anymore because you're not even focusing on that, and the game is so easy that you don't have to focus it in the first place. My only thing is that opal camo is just way too much. Like, 30 eliminations is way too much. But Nebula as itself, it's a fun grind. It gets you to play Black Ops 6 Zombies, and it gets you to appreciate the mode as well, because honestly, Black Ops 6 Zombies is arguably the best mode in Black Ops 6 right now. Warzone is shite. Multiplayer is full with hackers and sweats and skill-based matchmaking that nobody wants. But Zombies has 3 great maps within the game as of right now, and it's fun. It's fun to play. Like, it really is fun to play. And if you're grinding for a camo, it makes it even more fun to play because you're actually doing something. You're not just playing zombies, just play zombies. You're playing zombies to grind a camo that you actually personally like. So, I'll say it for one more time. Is it 100% worth it to get Nebula Camo? My answer is yes.